0002. And both of them have completed both fundamental and technical analysis as of now. And they're here to present a wonderful stock, Havells. Surprisingly, both of them came up and wanted to present, and both of them had the same stock in mind. So let's go ahead and hear from them in a short while. We're just waiting for a couple of more people to join in. Deven and Aditya, can you please take care of that part? If there is someone who's stuck, or if someone wants to join and is not able to, please go ahead and help them out. Great. In the meanwhile, it's already 2:30. So let's just start by introduction. Let's just ask Babita and Aditi to introduce themselves. Over to you, Babita.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Babita and I'm a professional from a different world. However, I have just started learning this thing, but I run a reputation management and a cybersecurity firm. We are based out of Delhi, Dubai, and Africa. And we do a lot of campaigns in coordination with different governments and different agencies here in India, as well as in different countries as well. So this word is completely new to me, but it's a very interesting word. The more I research, the more I am attracted to it. In my terminology, we call that stalking. So in my word, we keep stalking a lot of things, but here it's called research, and this is actually very nice. So I really hope to come out doing something good with the entire thing. Over to Aditi.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditi Goswami. I'm a student at Amity International School and a member of TIC 001.
Great. So Aditi has been very humble there. I would like to inform everyone that Aditi is just started her 12th standard. So she's very young, and she is in 12th. I wish I had someone like TIC to mentor me when I was that young into the world of investments. And guys, trust me, the professionalism that you will see from Aditi today will be outstanding, because I've gone through a presentation and it doesn't sound less than an investment analyst report. So going forward, we have 27 members joined us. We have 27 participants. I'll just share my screen where we have the presentation with us. Babita, please let me know if you can see the screen.
I will.
Great. Is this a better mode, or do you want me to make it do the whole screen?
No, it's okay.
This is all right?
You ask the other members. I'm fine with it.
Okay, great. So over to you, Babita and Aditi. You have exactly around 35-ish, 40 minutes. So please take your time. Please make sure that we make people understand of what we're talking about, and we make sure that people who are not from the investing background understand and can relate to what we are talking about. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. So I would need your help in running the presentation. So I would keep on asking you to do the needful as and when required. So today's stock is Havells. Havells India Limited is a fast-moving electrical goods company with an extremely strong global presence, and they work on a philosophy of Make in India. And they have the most extensive distribution network with world-class quality products that they have started doing in the last 1 decade. The company manufactures products ranging from home to kitchen appliances, to lighting, to domestic, to commercial, to industrial applications, LED lightings, fans, modular switches, cables, wires, water heaters, industrial products, switchgear, anything that you can think of. They're present in more than 20 plus verticals. So they are listed on both on the the Bombay Stock Exchange, and as well as NSE. And the codes are there on the screen. Over to the next slide, please. And let me quickly take you through the journey of Havells. It is a very interesting journey. When I started checking about them, so they started the company in 1958. It was a trading operation based out of Delhi, and in 1971 this brought Havells, brought by the gentleman, the founder of the company, Kimat Rai Gupta. Now the Havells name sounds very foreign kind of name, but it was named after a gentleman called Haveli Ram Gupta. So from Haveli they renamed it to Havells, and this is how it started. So Kimat Rai Gupta paid 7 lakh rupees to buy that Havells brand so that he could trade his product under this brand and he could earn a little more money money while the brand had a little value in the market. So this is how the journey started for Havells from 1971. And in 1976, they set up their first manufacturing plant, which was wireable switches plant based out of Kirtinagar. Then they ventured into HBC fuses plant, which was in 1979. Then they ventured into making high energy meters in Tilak Nagar in 1980s. In 1983, their turning point came when they went ahead and acquired Towers and Transformers Limited. And since then, this ventured into a lot of companies with like a Germany-based company. They ventured into a JV with them for doing MCBs and changeover switches. In 1993, they set up a very huge manufacturing plant in Faridabad for control gears. This was the time when they got listed both on NSE and BSE. So this is from the journey from here completely changes. And in 1996, they went ahead and acquired the company called Surya Cables in Rajasthan, which was pretty big. And it was almost 1.5 bigger than what their Havells brand was, but they still did it. And in 1997, they acquired electric control and switchboard at Noida. And 2000, they went and acquired controlling interest in a company called Standard Electrical. 2001, they went into acquiring Crabtree and merged that company, ECS Limited, into the company. So Electrical Source merged that way. And this is how in 2002, Standard Electrical became a 100% subsidiary of the company. And 2003, they went ahead and launched fans, CFLs, and lightings. And 2004, they set up a very big manufacturing plant in Baddi and started manufacturing CFLs, fans, lightings, and they also ventured and started a very big London office. And with a new export-oriented unit, Crabtree merged with Havells India. 2007, they went ahead and acquired the lighting business of a Frankfurt-based company called Sylvania. Sylvania was very popular in the lighting business then, and the company's turnover crossed almost 1 billion. So this was the time when a company called Wardward invested $110 million in Havells, and Havells diluted almost 11.2% shares of their company to grow out in the industry. And since then, their journey never stopped. They ventured into standard heaters, water electricals, and they ventured into KitKat switches under the brand called Rio. So introduced premium fans, which was a manufacturing range of entire ceiling fans, table fans, pedestals, and wall fans. And they came out with the concept of galaxies. So Havells has a lot of experience stores, which they call as galaxies. In 2014, I think they were having around 300 galaxies present all over India. So 2017 was another life-changing moment for the company, wherein they went ahead and acquired the brand called Lloyd. And this is how they ventured into the business of AC, LED TVs, washing machines. And 2018, they have done a very huge setup in Rajasthan, wherein they're going to manufacture ACs under their brand, and it has a capacity of almost 6 lakhs to 9 lakh units per annum. So this has been an interesting journey so far. Over to the next slide, please. Havells now, after all these acquisitions, as of now, they hold brands like, apart from their own brand called Havells, they have the brand called Lloyd, Crabtree, Standard Electric, and Promtech. Malvin, the next slide. I think my internet is slow. And they have around 14 manufacturing units. They are present in 20 plus verticals, 40 plus branch offices, present in 50 plus countries. And this is more than 10,000 plus dealer network, which is as of now till date today is 11,200 plus dealer network that they are very strong to go ahead with. Next slide, please. Havells as a brand always enjoys a very enviable domestic market dominance across a wide range of spectrum in various categories. So they are very popular in the consumer and the industrial segment. That's how they have divided their company into. For the CAGR for the consumer segment, that's the electrical segment for 2019 to 25 was predicted to be growing at 12%, whereas for home appliances, it was predicted to be growing at 15% 15%, which is very good for a company. So we'll talk more about detail in the same in the next slides. Next. So this is something that's how the company is, okay, just give me a moment. Okay, yes, thank you. So this is a quick comparison of how the company is actually compared to its peer competitors, which are there in the industry. In the switchgear category, they have an indicative rank of #1 compared to their competitors, Ligro and Snyder. In switches, they rank at #3, wherein they have competitors as Panasonic and Ligro again. In cables, which is a domestic product, they are ranking at #3 with Finolex and Polycab being the leaders in this segment. In the industrial segment, they again rank here #3 with Polycab and KEI taking the market ahead. LED lighting, which they ventured into, they stand at positions 2 to 4 depending on what product categories are we talking of. So their major competitors here are Bajaj, Crompton, Wipro, and a couple of more smaller companies, which are quite irrelevant. In the ECD segment, wherein the fans, heaters, and other appliances, they rank at #2 and #3, wherein their competitors are again the same set of companies, Crompton, Orient, Usha. But yes, water heaters has been ruled by Record for a very long time. And Bajaj and Philips also have been giving them tough competition, but this is how they have been going ahead in the industry so far. Next slide. So we're quickly going to talk about how they have actually taken over in the industrial and the consumer segment. This is an ideal situation when you think of a company called Havells. So if you think of a domestic if you envision a domestic front, you see most of the products which are there in a particular household is being manufactured here. And till date, as of now, they manufacture around 70 to 75% products in house, apart venturing out into LED chips, which are being imported. Rest of the other products are all manufactured in-house. So they have invested heavily into their research and development, and this is what makes them stand out from different companies, and this is how they have been ruling the charts as well. Next slide, please.
Talking about Havells, it is a growth stock. For buying, the first lot will be at 568 and the second will be at 545. Target 1 is 643 and the second is at 666. Moving on to our confidence level, it is confirmed.
Thank you, Aditi. So we'll quickly talk about the quantitative analysis of this growth stock. So when we talk of a growth stock, the PE ratio is definitely not relevant because it's a high growth stock. But however, we consider a lot of other ratios wherein we're going to talk. So debt to equity ratio is 0 for the company, which means the company is completely debt free. So there are no debts on the company so far, and they have a very strong balance sheet. So on March 31st, 2020, they had around 1100 crores lying free as free cash with them. Hence, they have been able to survive the COVID situation in a very different manner as well. We'll talk about that later on. So the next ratio that comes is the gross profit margin, wherein it's very good as per the industry standards. So they are steady from the last 4 years, which is 35.20. And the operating profit margin again is steady from the last 4 years, which is at 9.30. So return on equity generally as per the industry standard should always be more than 15%. Here in this case it is 17.2%, which is quite radically very good. The sales growth has been on the rise from the last 3 years, and they have had an increase of 1.7 times in the revenues in their sheets. And the net income again has been rising, which is 2.5% in the increase in this. So the acceptance of this stock is very high, and the company is fundamentally very good to invest in. Next slide, please. So when we talk about quantitative analysis, there is something called moat. Moat is something that we consider people's stickiness to the brand. So Havells definitely is very stronger on the moat because of the fact it has a very diversified product mix with them. So if they are present in 20 plus verticals in the consumer as well as the industrial segment, which makes them one of the leaders in their industry. So, and they have been constantly working on their R&D by launching and have kept on launching new products whether it was water heaters, small appliances, pumps, air coolers, water purifiers, or maybe they ventured out into personal grooming, which was completely new space for them. So this is something very strong for them. And when we talk about the competitive advantage, the barrier to new entrants, it's pretty low here. Bargaining power for suppliers is again very low here. Threat of substitute products is high because we have similar kind of companies there present. But what makes Havells different is their entire range of product portfolio that they have. So the bargaining power of buyer is very high here. Rivalry among competitors is definitely high. So, but we can still say, being a high growth stock, the moat for this stock is very strong. Next one, please. So let's also quickly look also at the shareholding pattern of the company. The company still holds almost 59.52% shares. From the last 5 years, it has been quite stable with them. They have pledged no shares. The foreign investment is 23.04. The direct investment is 10.87. MF is 3.18 and others is 6.58. What the best part is that in March 19, 2020, the company also gave out an interim dividend of ₹4 per share, which was pretty good. So the company has a very good management. Their gross profit margin is steady from a very long time. Their operating profit margin has been steady from the last 4-5 years. And hence we say that this is a very good stock to invest into when we talk of a growth stock. Next slide, please. So quickly summarizing, when we talk about stock, we look at two aspects. One is the qualitative and one is the technical aspects. So on the qualitative front, the company has acquired Lloyd Electricals and marked its entry into the consumer electronics segment, which is changing journey for them. And they also are trying to tap on the untapped opportunity in India with lower penetration, higher unorganized sector, and growing electrification. Havells has been preparing for future with constant product expansion, depending market reach and brand reinforcement. So 70% of the product that they manufacture are all energy efficient. The company also plans to enter into the refrigerator category big time in the coming 6 to 9 months. Their R&D expenses have been on the rise for a very high for a while, but the company has invested 102 crores in the last 1 year itself into R&D and bringing out new products. When we talk of R&D, they also hold 123 new IPRs, and overall IPRs that the company holds is somewhere around 386. So that summarizes the company's qualitative side. And now we are going to talk about the other side of the company, that is the technical aspect of the company and its shares. So over to Aditi.
Thank you. So for the technical analysis, first we'll be looking at Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci extension for our support and resistance levels. So starting from Fibonacci retracement, joining the lowest and the highest point, we see that the first support level is at 568. In case the next candle breaches this support level, the next one will be at 545. Moving on to the next slide, for Fibonacci extension, the first resistance level is at 605. In case the next candle breaches this resistance level, the next one will be at 643, and the one after that will be at 666. Next slide, please. Yeah. So after looking at the support and resistance levels, we'll be using various indicators on the monthly, weekly, and daily chart of the stock. So starting from the monthly chart, when we see the Ichimoku indicator, here the price, the conversion line, which is the blue line, and the baseline, which is the red line, all three of these are above the Kumo cloud. And we can also see that the cloud is green in color. So this indicates that price may go up in the future, So this is a good indicator for us. Moving on to RSI. RSI shows the momentum in the market, and we can see that it is slightly going up at the end. So this is also a good indicator for us because this means that momentum in the market is building. Moving on to OBV, which is the on balance volume, it is at a very high level. OBV shows what the big institutions are doing. So since this is at a high level, it shows that big institutions are buying this stock. So this is also a good sign for us. Moving on to MACD. MACD, for it to show a positive signal, the blue line needs to positively cross over the red line. Red line is the signal line which shows the 9-day EMA or the exponential moving average. So here we see that the blue line has actually crossed below the red line. So this is not a good sign for us. Moving on to MFI. MFI, this is very interesting because MFI is currently at an oversold position and is slightly going upwards. So this is a definite buy signal for us. Moving on to the weekly chart, we'll be using the same indicators there as well. So when we start from Ichimoku cloud, here we see that the price, the conversion line, which is the blue line, and the baseline, which is the red line, all three of these are below the Kumo cloud. And we can clearly see that the Kumo cloud is red in color. So this indicates that the price may go down in the future. So this is not a good sign for us. Moving on to RSI on the weekly chart, RSI is going upwards clearly. So this is also a good sign for us because this is showing that momentum in the market is building now. So looking at OBV, we see that it is at a low level, but at the end it is going upwards now. So this is good because this means that big institutions are now buying this stock. Moving on to MACD. MACD, we can clearly see that the blue line has positively crossed over the red line. So this is also a good signal for us. And finally, when we look at MFI, this is also going upwards. So this means that people have started buying the stock now, and this is also a good sign for us. Moving on to the daily chart, using the same indicators, now we see that the price is above the Kumo cloud along with the conversion and the baseline, and the cloud is showing green in color. So this, as we all know, this indicates that price may go up in the future. So this is also a good sign for us. Now, when we look at RSI, here we see that RSI actually has been operating in the same area. So there is a possibility that RSI may bounce back up from the black line that I've drawn. So if the line breaches this black line, that would be our cue to sell. But since there is a possibility that it may bounce back up, RSI shows a neutral signal here. Moving on to OBV, OBV is at a high level. This means that big institutions are buying the stock. So this is also a good sign for us. And looking at MACD, here the blue line has actually crossed below the red line. So this is also showing a negative signal for us to buy. And lastly, MFI, it is operating the same as RSI. It is operating at the same area and it may bounce back up from the black line that I've drawn. So this is also showing a neutral signal. All of these indicators, moving on to the next slide, all of these indicators, the conclusions are right here. Now, since it is not possible to be absolutely certain about the market, we need to look at the probabilities. And here we see that definitely the buy signals are more than the sell signals. So, which is why we are recommending to buy the stock. So next slide, please. So once again, we are showing this slide that for buying, the first lot is at 568, the second being at 545, and the target one is 643, and second is at 666. Thank you.
Great. It was an amazing presentation, I must say. Time just flew by, and Dipanshu's smile says it all. Well, guys, we're open to questions and answers. If anyone has any questions to ask, now is the time. Both Babita and Aditi are here to answer.
Okay, so I'll ask a question.
Sure. I would highly appreciate the members from 001 and 2 and 3. Please ask your questions too, because that's how we'll be grooming all of us here. Thank you.
Yes. So basically, I was just going through the financials. So the result for 1920 for Havells. So the sales has gone down around 20%. So was there any specific reason for that? Consolidated profit I'm talking about.
Sorry?
Consolidated profit I'm talking about. So basically the total profit of the company, total revenue of the company.
Okay, so I completely agree that the revenue and the operating profit fell by 20% and respectively 22% year on year, which was quite precedented with the COVID-19 times. But as I said earlier, the company is cash rich. And on 31st March 2020, they had around 1100 crores and with zero borrowings. So the country's strong balance sheet, along with the strong brand pull, with its strength in the distribution network in its core business, can definitely help the company bounce back better with the macro recovery. So it doesn't,
But
yes.
but can we attribute 20% downgrade to COVID times? Because if we see the stats, so COVID in India, it came in around 15th or 20th of March when the lockdown started. So can 20% can there be a 20% reduction in the revenue just in 20 days, last 20 15 days?
They
I
almost
just
lost two weeks because of the COVID news. Hence, that is the revenue that has gone down. I would completely agree to it. But the
okay.
company bounced back with resuming its operations in May. And the company has also resumed its operation with the latest set of artificial intelligence based technologies that they're using in most of their manufacturing plants, which have opened in respective states. Apart from that,
Okay.
the director also addressed all the dealers seeing the situation because he didn't want to lose out on to the control, and their dealer strength is the maximum that they have with them. So they adopted onto a similar model which was launched by Geo, from offline to online. So now
Okay.
any consumer who would want to buy a product, and any without compromising on the dealer's margin or the distributor's margin, you could just order it online, and the nearest available store is going to deliver it to you. So initially they were running these two systems parallelly, but since with this unprecedented times, they adopted the same thing, and now they have clubbed both the technologies together, which is a very strong move by the company from going from offline to online. And this is how they have been taking care of the situation so far.
Okay. My other question is a general question. So if you could just move down to that slide wherein all the competitors' data was there in all the segments. Yeah. So Emmanuel, I just want to understand. So the company is following into different kind of businesses, as in it is related, but different divisions, and it will be facing very stiff competitions with from the players already in that market, right? So should we take it as a positive sign or a negative sign, as in because it would be a stiffer competition if we see the marketplace in the same segments, and Havels would be actually starting from the scratch, or we should do a lot of management research related to this. What should be the criteria?
You're asking me, Anirudh?
Yes,
Okay.
just a general question.
Okay. So see, anyways, it's a brand. Right?
Yeah.
Even if they come up with something new because they have free cash flow, whatever they produce would also be by default a brand.
Right.
So if Audi starts making new bikes, would you stop buying an Audi, or would you refrain from buying a bike from Audi?
I won't. I think I would
Yeah.
check.
So
Right.
the idea simply is that Havels in itself, being a parent brand, whatever product that it deemed or it wants to cater to, or whatever product segment it wants to cater to, it would come up with intrinsic research, and only then would be able to launch a product. And having
Okay.
multiple product portfolios or having a deep product line would only benefit to the overall umbrella, because
Okay.
now you're catering to the larger wallet share of the of a consumer.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Right? Earlier, if a consumer would come to you, you might be taking a small pie out of the entire infrastructure setup that he's wanting to build in his real estate, or around his real estate. But now you have a
Okay.
larger wallet share from the same consumer. Hence, your revenues would go up, streaming down to the bottom line of the company first. The second thing, the last year's, the 20% fall that you have been, you mentioned, is because of a lot of factors. We could state factors like GST. There has been a lot of irregularity in the GST taxation from the government's end, especially in the consumer durable space.
Right.
Then we have seen construction bans in a lot of states last year,
Right.
and uncertainty prevailed. COVID-19. COVID-19 came after months of uncertainty. We as an Indian economy had a huge, long span of uncertainty already existing, and then COVID-19 came as a trigger that you finally blew the bomb. But the idea is, the reason the revenues have shrunken are the reason that the stock is trading at a discount,
Right.
making a stock a lucrative buy. Because Babita's research does not count for 2019-20 as a sheet. She started her research from 2009, 2010 as a balance sheet. So she has taken 10 years average. She has almost taken 11 years average, and then she's saying fundamentally the stock is a good stock to buy. Over to Babita if she wants to add something.
No, I would like to add, as per their peer competitors, which are mentioned in various categories. So Havells is one such brand which has been riding on the Atmanirbhar flag from a very long time, wherein when the situation was not even required. So they were the first company to venture into the lighting industry, where most of the stakes, the entire worldwide, was controlled by China. So they took that move around 10 years ago. So they have a futuristic approach, a visionary approach to the solutions. Now today we are talking of all the companies becoming Atmanirbhar, but they did it quite some time. So with 2017, with the Lloyd acquisition, they have this plan, and this is how they plan to invest 400 crores in the new setup of making everything in India. So as of now that we speak, apart from LED chips, Havells does not import anything from China, and it is not even China dependent. So it is one such company compared to its other companies present in the chart, which is pretty quite dependent on its own. So we will have to see how other companies are going to match up to the competition here that Havells is going to give them in coming times.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Atul sir, I guess you have something to add here.
Yeah, I can actually give just clarify Aniruddh's query. By the way, good to see you, Aniruddh.
Same here, sir.
So, जो 20% business has gone down or revenue has gone down for Havells, it has gone down specifically in just one segment, that is switchgear segment. And that has only to do with the construction activities disruption in last 12 months. The rest of the businesses have not suffered at all. And then if you look at this matrix itself, one thing you'll realize that there is nobody else in all the segments present in India. The only company which is bigger than, I would say, Havells in India is Siemens. There is nothing bigger than Havells. Havells exists in almost all the sectors. So even if 20% revenue has gone down because of construction activities, revenue in rest of the segments have gone up, which has actually compensated for a lot of it. So Havells that way is a very, very strong foothold. After the acquisition of Sylvania in 2005, Havells became world's largest light equipment company. And that's why it had crossed actually $1 billion valuation that time.
Okay.
So ये जो 20% है, actually this is mostly to do with the switchgear business, not rest of the businesses. They're still market leader in most of the business.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Just one segment.
Nice. Any other questions? Any insights? Anything that we would like to ask Babita and Aditi?
Emmanuel sir,
just a second, Lakshya. I see a very different technical analysis this time, and it's very bang on, bullseye. So if you have more questions for Aditi, I would not be surprised. Lakshya, over to you.
sir, I have a question related to a statement you made earlier. Like how many more and more the company having more and more products under one brand. So is it a good thing or probably a negative thing as well? They are like jack of all trades and master of none. They just keep adding products to their portfolio and they are not the first choice in any of them.
Anyone who would like to answer that?
I can if you want.
Yes,
sure.
sir. Please.
I'll answer later. Adul sir, over to you.
So when you talk about a large size companies getting into hundreds of areas, there you are right. Actually, it will dilute their focus and spread the overall budget or focus thin. But Havells, when you talk about, they have grown so much because of the inorganic growth. They've been just acquiring company, adding it. And they are still running those companies as standalone units under just one umbrella. So they have not merged the management like they took over Sylvania. Sylvania was working still independently under Havells brand name. Nothing changed. They made their money in 5 years time. They double almost, I think 1.5 times, no, 2.5 times they made in 5 years time, and they exited 80% of their stake in that. So इनका जो strategy है, they are acquiring specialist companies so that the brand becomes solid. That is their growth strategy. Their growth strategy is not to do R&D in a specific area and just grow that one area. So whatever they like in the market, whoever they see is going to become market leader in future, they simply acquire those companies. So company ka growth strategy is about acquiring brands and running them under it. They're not developing anything because they can't develop 100 brands at the same time. Lakshya. So
probably, sir, because coming from the electronics and electrical background, have a lot of products we procure from the market. We use in our own products. We supply at sites, but never ever has Havells been our first preference, either in cables, either in switchgear, either in. Neither do I have Havells fan in my house. Neither do I use Havells LED light. So just it is a brand there. It is there for. We consider it as a brand for tier 2, tier 3 cities, a prominent brand for those. But in Delhi, Mumbai, L&T is much bigger in switchgear. Fans, we always prefer Crompton. LED light, Philips is there. So they are, in my opinion, I generally like the company. I like the way they've grown. They are there, present in everything. But they are number 2, number 3 in everything.
Yeah. I completely agree. And that's what I'm saying. They have not developed a lot of products. They have simply acquired different brands to build a big company, which is profitable for all the stakeholders. So we can't honestly compare their switchgears with Schneider or their electrical consumer goods with, let's say, Samsung or Philips. But they've acquired a lot of companies to become a bigger brand in India. So they are just giving value to their stakeholders, may not be giving quality to their consumers.
And 70% of India lives in the rural. So there is a huge demand in the rural India as well. But yes, also the products that we're talking about, these products are not consumer decisive products. These are value chain decisive products. For example, an architect decides, or a manager would decide on what switchgear would be installed in a building. Right? When we're talking about housing as a project, or when we're talking about construction, not talking about bungalows or not talking about independent residences, but when we're talking about big size projects, it's a value chain decision. And generally, we all know that, like we say, SST, Sasta Sundar Tikau, right? That is what is acceptable in India to a larger, bandwidth of it. And
this brand fits that bill, SST.
This brand fits that space absolutely well. And that is why it's a go-to brand for a lot of architects, for a lot of people who are into housing and real estate development in mass or in real estate mass production, basically. So there it fits very well. Also, to answer the different question, as long as, like Atul sir said, as long as these companies are running independently and the managements are not dependent on, and they're just a basket which is giving positive cash flow, it doesn't impact the overall umbrella. For example, we see a lot of big brands doing that. ITC is also in tobacco. ITC is also in FMCG. ITC is also in stationery. So it actually adds to the product portfolio because, given the times of uncertainty or in good times, you are not dependent on one product line for revenues. You're not dependent on one product line to pay your employees, right? You have actually diversified your revenue streams, and overall there is less risk irrespective of the market situation. So the focus is there because all the managements are different, all the leadership teams are different, but the revenue stream overall as a standalone point of view or as a consolidated point of view. For a consolidation point of view, the revenue streams are hedged against each other. So that gives a level of comfort for an investor or a shareholder. Babita, there is a question in the chat box, and it says that we're seeing an anti-dumping duties or anti-import duties being placed by India on China. So I guess Babita has already answered that by saying that Havells does a lot of production in-house, and there is only one component of the entire production line that's imported from China. But Babita, over to you. Can you just answer that question from Mr. Gautam Singh?
Yes, thank you, Gautam, for the question. As per the statement given by the company's managing director and the chairman, apart from LED chips, they are not importing anything from China. So they are manufacturing almost 95 of the products here in India as only. So which does not make them become the players for this anti-dumping policy imposed by the government. So they're completely safe to go.
Okay, great.
And they were quite visionary in doing that from a very long time. So hence they have been investing heavily into the R&D as well.
The other side of this coin that I look at is now maybe Philips and other brands like Bajaj, who used to import their stuff from China, would now start buying from Havells, because Havells is already manufacturing it in-house, right? Or Havells is already manufacturing it in India, and these are not off-brand products. So these are not the products that you see. These are the products that go into a product that you see, right? So if Bajaj ends up buying a component from Havells, we will not know it, right? But for a shareholder, it is still added revenue. So it might open, I'm not saying it is, but it might open a new stream of revenue where all the components that Havells is manufacturing for its own products can now be sold to existing players like Bajaj, Morphy Richards, Philips, and all the other brands that Babita has just mentioned. And they, because cannot no longer import it from China at a reasonable price, start buying from Havells itself. That's a new opportunity that Havells would have as a player in the market. Gautam, I think you had something to ask.
My question is correlating between what you and Atulji just now said. You just gave an example of ITC, and sir said about it being there in all and you being hedging able. When in today's times, when you are not ITC, what ITC has been acquiring every company which is available for sale in the agri business with its brand on it and changing it over into an ITC company. Because what happens is people buy, basically when it comes to brands, they buy brands. And when, example I'll give you, Lloyd is a good brand in refrigeration, which was said by Babita that they're slowly coming into manufacturing of refrigerators and all. But when a person, the management as a whole is indecisive, even giving its brand to, because see, if Lloyd would have been rebranded as Havells and sold, it would give them much better leverage in the market compared to being Lloyd, yes, mother concern being Havells. Because people will not buy. This is my question, because both things are being contradicted what you people said right now. So isn't it so?
I'm sorry, Gautam sir, I see no contradiction there. But I guess what you're asking is, why is Lloyd not being renamed as Havells?
That is what
acquisition.
Yes.
That's what. So, Gautam sir, no doubt that Havells is a bigger brand than Lloyd, right? But Lloyd being managed as Lloyd would bring more brand value to Havells at one point of time. Because for temporary sales, renaming Lloyd as Havells would make sense. But because we are not talking about temporary revenue, we're talking about infinite revenues, or we're talking about long-term management or long-term strategies, building Lloyd as a brand would reward Havells more than it would as renaming Lloyd as Havells. We have seen a lot of examples here. There are a lot of parent companies that we don't even know of. People don't know Fevicol is from Pidilite. They still end up using Fevicol. Now, if I start naming Fevicol as Pidilite, I don't think that would make any difference. At the end of the day, it is simply about the brand or the product being rightly positioned in the market. And I think Lloyd is rightly positioned in the market, where they are saying that Lloyd is not for the elites. Lloyd is not for the tier 1 cities. Lloyd is basically for tier 2, tier 3 cities where people are looking for an economic consumer durable that lasts longer. The idea simply is that if we name it Havells, it loses the positioning of the product that we're trying to do. So whenever we name a brand or whenever we have a brand under the umbrella, we're basically trying to position it in the market in a sphere where we perceive that brand to have some added benefit, or we perceive that brand to relate to a benefit or relate to an attribute. And Lloyd relates to a benefit where it is for the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and it's a reliable brand, and it has an attribute where it's more dependable. But renaming it as Havells would not at all be a good strategy. Atul sir, I guess you have something to add.
Yeah, I can actually. So I'll give you a parallel example. Like if we consider IT companies in India or IT hardware companies in India, out of top 10, you will actually see at least 4 to 5 companies who are just retailers, large size retailers. So like Reddington. So Reddington or Iris Computers, these guys are the largest, one of the top 10 largest resellers of IT hardware, like laptop or servers or desktops, printers. Their reach is much wider than the actual OEMs. So IBM will not have their office probably in small tier 2, tier 3 cities, but Iris Computer will have. Now, if Iris Computers start naming those computers as Iris Computers, people may not buy it. They would still like to buy IBM computer or HP computer or Lenovo computer. So these guys kind of become reseller, which is not same as Havells acquiring the brands, but the purpose is same. These guys can also, Iris Computer or Reddington, they can also start assembling computers and start selling in those market. But the kind of money brand name demands or commands, they will never be able to get it. They can get more money by selling HP because the consumer also trusts it. A lot of good services come from it. So by selling a good quality and good brand product and taking under own umbrella is one thing, but by changing the brand name itself, it can maybe dilute the value of the product sometimes, because Havells is not bigger than, let's say, Sylvania in the lighting business worldwide. So why change Sylvania products to Havel products? Nobody knows Havells worldwide, but everybody knew Sylvania worldwide. So if you are acquiring Sylvania, just sell it as Sylvania. So maybe that's their strategies. But if I'm acquiring companies, I'll never do it. I'll always put them under my brand name, because sometimes big corporates also, ego is much more important than the revenue. But then in some smart companies, ego does not come into picture. They only look at the business. So Havells did not decide to invent or innovate or do R&D and come up with their own original products in all the range. They simply decided to build a business and started acquiring companies. They had a choice. They had good money, zero debt at some point. They could have actually manufactured their own products, but they did not, because their focus was more on building business, growing business, acquiring more companies, and making valuation happen for them. So different companies, different strategies, I would say.
And at the end of the day, what benefits the promoters also benefits the shareholders. So if they are a bullish or if they are a company that has been performing so well for the last 10 years, they will be a company that will keep performing on the same strategies. Also going to a question from Raghav, sorry. When looking at Havells for a long-term perspective, would it be better to first see how the real estate sector is expected to do first? I am not a guy of real estate, so I'll let people who have more knowledge on real estate to go ahead and answer that.
I would like to give one part of the answer of the same question. So as per statement given out by the company, somebody had put up the same question on a channel. So the chairman of the company had to say that they are receiving more traction from semi-urban and rural areas for their products rather from the real estate industry. So somehow they feel they are being compensated for the losses that they preceded to make in this tough times from the real estate industry. So that is the situation as of now as we watch and move on.
Thank you, Babita. Also, by using my common sense, what I can say is if real estate sector starts growing, probably Havells valuation would already be overvalued, and you will not be able to buy Havells at this price. Uh, that's the common sense that I can put into. If anyone can add anything to how real estate can be seen as a sector, if it's growing or not growing, and then we could probably buy the value chain companies like Havells or not. I don't know. We'll have to see over that.
See, Emmanuel, I have been working in IBC. So right now, if we see the real estate, mostly the commercial part of it, so they are into major debt crisis. So I don't see the demand coming up in at least for a year, unless and until there is some support from the government, proper support. So one more thing which I was thinking when Atul sir was telling about that gear. So since it was able to, as in it was able to bring down the sales to the effect of 20%, or it could be more since other revenue streams had made up for it. So should it be a red alert that we should first check into this particular stream of business of theirs, because it was a major revenue chunk for them, and for 1 or 2 years, I guess it would be tough for them in the real estate market. So
I don't think that way, Anirudh, because personally, if I have to look at any industry or company with so many products, this large product range actually provide cushion in these kind of situations. So, for
okay,
example, when we talk about the real estate industry is not growing, but all their revenue is not coming only from the new construction. We
okay,
all keep changing light and fixtures. If the new
right,
construction is not happening, then people keep renovating their houses, keep refurbishing things, keep changing interior designs. Even if they are not buying anything, people, if they put on their decision on hold, they start spending money within the house that let's make it livable. And then most of the revenue, if I am not wrong, is coming from the tier 2, tier 3 cities and small time towns, where the construction was not happening anyway too much. It is in the metropolitan areas. So if I keep that electrical part one side, now look at the other part, appliances. So like Lloyd products. So if you talk simply about, let's say, air conditioned units, do you think in any situation requirement for air condition is going to come down? It will not.
no, it will
It is
increase
actually now
actually.
reaching out to even small cities, small towns, even villages where the electricity is coming properly. People have started putting ACs now in their houses. And it will always start with one room and it will spread into all the bedrooms later on. That's how we have seen. It just have to
But so
reach.
one thing,
G.
as so we have seen like these days people are earning less, and it's like everybody has an impact over their jobs. So definitely, like if someone was using AC for 24 hours a day, now they will be using for like 12 hours a day. They would likely cut the supply of using an air conditioner. So that is, I think, going to affect it.
So
I
my
think people are basically going to cut down their cost.
हाँ प्रतीक मेरा थोड़ा सा उसमें व्यू डिफरेंट रहता है सो फॉर एग्जांपल लास्ट 25 or 26 years I have been working and last 13 years I am doing business. I've never heard a business owner saying कि market अच्छी है. You keep talking to them every single time you ask them business कैसे चल रहा है बहुत बेकार है market बिल्कुल मंदी है. मैंने आज तक कभी ऊपर नहीं सुना. Now let's consider, keep that part in mind and consider another thing. 3 years back Fortuner was available for 25 lakh rupees. Today is available for 40 lakh rupees. If the market is so bad, how come prices are going down, up? So when we think a market थोड़ी सी down है, people are cautious. People have been cautious only in last 2-3 months. And that too because there is no opportunity to go out and buy. Half of the markets and malls, everything is closed. But now if you actually start checking how many deliveries Amazon is doing every day, you'll be surprised to see what kind of buying is suddenly happening. Wherever you are staying, if you check with your, let's say, control room of your societies or how many deliveries are coming from Amazon or Flipkart, you'll see in thousands. People can't hold back for very long. Once they have become habitual of buying things, and I'm saying let's consider that impulsive buying has stopped for some time. But ACs and all have become now part of basic necessities in household. Washing machines, ACs, coolers, all these things will continue. The requirement is only going to grow. Because even if we are saying we are not able to see that growth, let's say in last 2 or 3 months, in any country, the biggest spender of money is always government, which means government is going to spend now money in infrastructure building so that a lot of projects can be given out. And as and how they start building infrastructure in remote areas and condition of electricity supply becomes better, all these things will start getting sold. आज के टाइम में हमें क्यों लगता है कि हम छोटे छोटे गांव या शहरों में पीपल आर नॉट पुटिंग एसीज एवरीवेयर, क्योंकि लाइट ही नहीं आती आधे आधे टाइम, तो वो लगा भी लेंगे तो क्या करेंगे. बट विद टाइम इज गोइंग टू गेट बेटर, एंड बिकॉज इज गोइंग टू गेट बेटर, ये जितनी हाउस होल्ड अप्लायंसेज हैं इनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो बढ़ेगी ही टाइम से, ये कम नहीं हो सकती. दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक.
So it might be a temporary slowdown, but in the long run, it is going to increase.
It has always been like this. There is no issue or challenge or problem or calamity which has stopped the whole world from moving forward.
And Prateek,
a pause in between. कि अभी ये 3, 4, 5, 6 महीने का pause है. Everybody has to run business. Everybody has to start buying things in order to run businesses. तो ये पूरी साइकिल जो है दोबारा से स्टार्ट होने वाली है बहुत जल्दी. Whenever it happens. But I'm telling you, if you talk about retail market, talk to Amazon. Just look at their numbers. If you know somebody in Amazon who is selling it, just ask them how many items you are selling. It has already restarted the whole cycle again.
Amazon has stopped taking stop registering new resellers because they don't have enough delivery capacities and orders to execute. They've stopped it for another 1 month.
हाँ तो ये
till 28th of July.
हाँ, that's what I feel. ये चीज रुक नहीं सकती है, ये टेम्परेरी पॉज है जो भी चल रहा है. एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन वाला पार्ट वी कैन से बिकॉज देयर इज ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट रिक्वायरमेंट इज देयर, क्योंकि कंज्यूमर बेस नहीं है. ये कोई एसी की तरह नहीं है जो हम 30-40 हज़ार में खरीद सकते हैं. वहाँ 1-1.5-2 करोड़ रुपए की इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात है. तो पीपल में स्टिल होल्ड बैक कि मालूम नहीं बिजनेस कितना चलेगा. बट बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट आई डोंट थिंक एनीबॉडी इज होल्डिंग बैक ऑन दैट. पीपल हैव सेव्ड इनफ मनी इन लास्ट 3 months by not going out.
And Prateek, there is a Harvard Business case study. I'll share the study with you after this meeting. They have done electricity. They've correlated electricity's consumption with depression and recession, and there has been never an impact. There is no correlation at all. People have not stopped using or consuming electricity. In fact, it has gone up because people are now not going to offices and they're sitting at their homes. So the per capita electricity consumption has gone up whenever we have gone into a recession or we have gone into depression. So if electricity consumption is going up, for sure the consumer durables are also, the sale of consumer durables is also going up. And also, like Atul sir said, the recovery is on his face. Anubhav Jain, who is into marbles, has already mentioned that tile sales have started recovering, and tile industry has started picking up. So he's looking at the demand there. Dipanshu, you have a question on technical analysis. So let's just switch gears and let's go to technical analysis and let's see what Dipanshu has to ask.
I already asked you, Aditi, about how much drop we expect, as it is already taking correction from last Friday. It already took correction in a daily chart. So I was expecting how much more correction it has to take down so that we can have a confirmation of buy. I mean, in monthly and weekly chart, it is showing a confirmation to buy, but in daily chart, it's still showing a correction. So I was just asking Aditi how much correction it has to take. Though I have bought it on Friday itself when I was watching the presentation, so I was so confirmed about that. But still, I was just asking how much correction it has to take.
Yeah, Aditi, over to you.
Yeah, so the first support level is at 568. If you feel that you need to wait, you can wait till 568. And if the next candle breaches, then the next would be at 545.
Okay, so 545, I'll bought my second lot, right? Thank you.
Can I add something, Aditi, to this?
Yeah, sure.
Dipanshu, this is a classic stock which moves exactly like Nifty.
Okay, sir.
So on whatever day you decide to buy or sell it, just look at Nifty, you'll know where it is going.
Okay, sir.
It is actually one of those stocks कि आप इसको अगर superimpose करके देखोगे, you'll feel chart एक जैसा लग रहा है दोनों का देखने में.
ठीक है, sir.
हाँ, तो इसकी अपनी डायरेक्शन कम है, ये मार्केट की डायरेक्शन ज्यादा फॉलो करता है. दिस इज वन ऑफ देम.
Okay. Thank you, Abdul sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions that have been left unanswered or anything in the chat box that I have missed, please unmute yourself and please go ahead. Okay, so we are right on time. It's 3:30 and I guess it was an amazing presentation. Congratulations, Babita, for your first presentation. It was really amazing. Thank you, Aditi. I think you're presenting for the second time now. Great. It's a great technical effort on your end, mostly. Okay, and we have Aditya who wants to announce something for us all. So over to Aditya.
Good afternoon, members. So actually, we are starting our another batch. We call another club from 19th of July. So anyone who really wanted to learn this science of investing can contact me or Emmanuel sir directly. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, guys. And it's an invite only. So if you've been invited by someone, you can just connect with them and to know more about Together Investing Club. That's all from our end. It's 3:30 on a Sunday evening. I guess people who were sleeping in your houses or around you have now woken up. So now it's family time for everyone. Please go ahead and enjoy your Sunday. And for those of us who have not yet bought Hevels, we know when to buy it. Or if we're still not sure, we can just drop a text to Aditi or to any one of us on Together Investing Club portals. We are available on all the social media platforms as Together Investing Club. You can directly connect to us there as well. Thank you so much for your time on a Sunday evening. Have fun. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for the great presentation.
Great presentation, Babita. बहुत बढ़िया research. Thank you.
Everyone. See you, Aditi.
बबीता, आप आईटी वाले कम और फाइनेंस वाले ज्यादा लग रहे हो.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, अभी कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
Excellent.
कोशिश में ही ऐसा है.
And new hairstyle is also excellent.
Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Bye.